Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is up, Marvel and Star Wars nerds, and welcome back to the Carbonite Convos Podcast. Today is episode 54 coming at you, and we can't thank you enough for coming along for another one. And if you're joining us on TikTok Live, thank you so much for hopping in, and feel free to let us know how we're doing. If this is your first time on Carbonite Convos, you've just taken your first step into a larger world, and I already thanked everybody that's been here before, so we don't actually, we'll do it again. Thank you. You can catch me everywhere. I'm your host at Funko Stud, and I am joined today by Alec, aka Wall Crawler Pops. Alec, how we doing?
Dude, I'm great. I'm excited to talk about what's new in the fandom this week, as always. But before we do that, we got to throw it out there, guys. If you like what you see here, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment in the comment section below, and hit that sub button. And if you're with us on TikTok, let us know if you have any questions, topics, thoughts. This is your show to run, so we're happy to talk about whatever you guys want. But I'm ready to get into it, dude.
Yes, sir. So, it's going to be a little light today. There hasn't been any crazy news, but, starting off, we have to talk about Spidey on every podcast nowadays. Might as well be Spidey Convos or whatever sounds better. But we got the news today that Sony is continuing to make Spider-Man movies with Marvel. Now, up until this point, it was only, we knew that we were getting more movies with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but we did not know if they would be in the MCU. So now Sony said today that they're treating these three movies as, their own three, and then they're going to start with another three. So we are getting another three Spider-Man movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I think that's a huge start.
Yeah, no, dude, that's huge. And my immediate question is, well, one, hell yeah, we're getting more MCU Spidey. That's huge. So for him to be maybe a part of the Avengers going forward, part of, I don't know, maybe the Young Avengers or even the Fantastic Four going forward, that's always a possibility. But my immediate question is, what's going to happen with this Sony Spider-Verse? Because back, maybe I guess a year ago at this point, when more than that, when all the beef was happening and they ended up coming to agreement about how it was going to go, that everything in the MCU was going to be relevant to the Spider-Verse, but everything in the Spider-Verse wasn't necessarily going to be relevant to the MCU. But now that Spider-Man is sticking around in the MCU, does that mean any of this is going to be affected in the MCU, or is it going to be its own thing still?
The way I see it is the multiverse and the Spider-Verse is opening up. So I don't think there's a problem anymore with the Sonyverse being some branch of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that being a problem, because if, how we're led to believe that we're getting Tobey and Andrew's Spider-Man, if we're getting them, they're already relevant anyways. And those are the main movies or franchises that were already in concern of if they would come to the MCU. So if we get Tobey and Andrew, that means that that Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and then the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are canon in some
capacity,
some
right?
universe in the MCU. So, I think like all of the other movies since, we already know Venom has come over with the post-credit scene. So I think we could say moving forward that everything that Sony comes out with related to Spider-Man is a branch of the MCU.
Well, dude, that gets me excited because it brings around the fact that it's a possibility that the Foxverse, all the original X-Men stuff, Fantastic Four stuff, to me, that's the exact same thing as the Amazing Spider-Man or the Raimi trilogy or anything along those lines. It's being set up to be a branch of the MCU that obviously wasn't what it was intended for when it was created, but there's no reason why that can't be the precedent going forward.
No, of course. And, with Disney regaining the rights to X-Men and Wolverine and Deadpool and among others, there were a couple more that I can't remember off the top of my head. We do have a much bigger chance of seeing those characters in movies going forward. So I'm super excited. And, Deadpool already has a lot, excuse me, for everybody. I'm sorry. I'm a little under the weather today, so that's why my voice is a little nasally. You'll hear me groan a couple times. But Deadpool is already involved with Spider-Man in the comics, so there's no introduction that needs to happen there.
Right. Real quick in the chat, we have P-Run Hunt, however you say it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. He says, yeah, toys. Yes, we are huge Funko Pop collectors. So actually be on the lookout. We are dropping a new Funko Pop We Need episode from Guardians of the Galaxy that'll come out later this week. So feel free to go check us on YouTube and check that out. But anyway, sorry, back to the point we're talking about.
For everybody who doesn't know what those lists are, that's where we get together. We think of X amount of pops from those movies, from that specific movie that we'd like to see made that hasn't been made yet. And then we partner with Funko Pop concept artists on Instagram that make them for us or make as many as we can get made. And then we can, share their work, they share ours. So it's mutually beneficial for everybody. It's a lot of fun. That's arguably one of my favorite things we do.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
anyway, sorry, back to the point you were talking about. Like, obviously, Deadpool does not need any introduction with the relationship that him and Spider-Man have. It's very much a love-hate relationship. And what gets me excited is it's kind of the same capacity as the relationship between Daredevil and Spider-Man. And with a lot of the things that are in the works right now, I don't think having Daredevil and Spider-Man's relationship grow is out of the question for the direction the MCU is going to go. We have a lot of hints at Daredevil obviously being involved in No Way Home, Matt Murdock being involved in No Way Home, Kingpin potentially being in Hawkeye, and now with the introduction of Echo and Echo's relationship with Daredevil in the comics, I don't think it's out of the question for Daredevil just to be around.
No, not at all. And sorry, I'm like fidgeting around. I'm realizing now that your voice is coming out of my phone and I'm getting it in my headphones. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't echo
it doesn't. You just got to turn your phone down all the way.
It is all the way, but it keeps.
Yeah, it stays on like that much. It does the same thing for me.
I'm just going to move it back so it's farther away. No, you're exactly right. And dude, speaking of Hawkeye, with all this stuff coming out, like I believe that the girl that we saw at the end of episode 2 is Echo.
Right.
Which in the comics, she is the adoptive daughter of Kingpin, and she has a love interest with Matt Murdock. Meanwhile, she's trying to hunt Daredevil. So it's a very interesting dynamic that we could see because we already have her confirmed. We have big rumors that Kingpin is in this show. We have big rumors that Matthew Murdock and Daredevil, more Matt Murdock, not so much Daredevil, is in Spider-Man No Way Home. So these are things that very soon we could see play out before our eyes. And with the new Echo series, I assume that they would go along that same line, because like we've been saying for months now, I'd say since WandaVision came out, it's so the MCU is so extraterrestrial that they need shows of vigilantes to keep everything grounded, and heroes like the new Captain America, Bucky, that just work in New York City or Los Angeles, where you're not dealing with universal threats every other day.
Right, and that seems to be the whole aspect of Hawkeye, is dealing more with the underground crime scene of New York. And obviously that's where the thought of Kingpin being involved becomes a little bit more relevant. And that's kind of what Daredevil is known for, is fighting crime in Hell's Kitchen, New York. Obviously, like that district. Again, man, things are leading and beginning to look like this might be the future of a new show, of a new antagonist, protagonist. Just I'm excited for it. I know I say that about a lot of things, but genuinely, like, I think Daredevil is an awesome character. I remember playing the original Spider-Man game back on the PlayStation 1, and Daredevil was in it. I always thought he was the coolest thing ever. The fact he was blind and was a badass and was able to do everything that everyone else was able to do even better. I just thought it was the coolest concept ever.
No, 100%. 100%. While we're on Hawkeye still, what did you think of the first couple episodes?
Good, man. I'm interested to see the relationship grow between the two, because I think Clint has a tendency to take these people that are kind of broken, like obviously in need of a friend, in need of a mentor, and kind of by accident lead them to a better life. I mean, well, let's look at Natasha, for example. Like without Clint, who knows where she would have ended up, right?
Dead.
Probably, odds
Well, he
are,
was sent
or
to
in
kill
some
her. So if he didn't
right,
have a
and
light
he
heart,
obviously he obviously saw the better side of her. We got that look of it in Black Widow. We actually got to see a little bit of what their fight looked like when they were in the room and there was arrow holes in the wall. So I can imagine it's going to be the
Wanda.
same thing with Kate. Exactly. With Wanda, the scene in Ultron where he's like, "You either need to buck up or go home." And obviously we see where Wanda is now, and then we'll see what happens with Kate Bishop. I mean, I can only imagine they're setting her up to be a huge part of the MCU, so I can only imagine he's going to help her too.
Echoing you, he said in an interview that he feels like almost like a dad of the MCU, and it was in like a joking way, but sort of in the ways that you meant, where these people need a role model, a positive influence. He's like the dad of that, of the franchise. So I thought that was pretty funny. But he does fit the role well.
We got to give props to his wife in the show. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the fact that a wife or a mother would be able to take on the family while your husband goes and fights crime underground, I think that shows a lot about her too.
Well, I also saw a lot of people pointing out that it would be easy for Hawkeye to keep her in the dark with everything and not tell her to keep her safe, but it shows you how open their marriage is, to where she pretty much knows everything going on. When he talks about the what are they called, the sweatsuit mafia, tracksuit mafia, she's like, "Oh, those idiots again." Tracksuit mafia. Jeez, yeah,
that's very accurate. Is what Kate said.
Exactly. She says, "Oh, those idiots again." So she's she's well aware of what Clint's dealing with, and it leads us to believe that they talked about the Ronin suit together. So that clearly, well, not clearly, but that kind of shows that there had to have been some conversation that she knows what happened in those 5 years when they were
in that time where she was gone, right?
Which I'm sure that's a difficult conversation that you have to have.
Hey, while you were literally disappeared and turned into dust to 5 years, I went on a crime spree and killed a lot of people and made a lot of enemies.
But it was for the greater good. He was trying to kill criminals.
He was trying to do the right thing, but obviously, like, he's a vigilante. Vigilantes aren't heroes. There's obviously a line and a difference between the two. And when that line's crossed, some shady things are done.
See, I agree to a point, but that's to say vigilantes aren't heroes. Like
well, they're not heroes. They're vigilantes, and they're called vigilantes for a reason. They don't do bad things.
Okay, but
what I'm saying justifiable reason.
What I'm saying is a nurse is not a superhero, but a nurse, in a sense, is a hero. A firefighter is a fire. I see what you're saying. No, they're not superheroes, but they, a hero is a broad word. So if you're able to positively affect lives, I feel like that makes you a hero.
Heroes and villains are only justified from your point of view, dog.
Exactly.
Anyway, that actually, I forgot the point I was about to make about that. I just lost it. I'm sorry. I just lost it. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. You were saying something about Hawkeye.
Oh, so okay, I remember now. So do we know exactly what his future is? Is he done? Is Jeremy Renner done playing Hawkeye after this?
I don't know.
Because I would assume I think it'd be I'm thinking so as well. But how cool would it be that once Kate Bishop officially takes over the title of Hawkeye, if he took back the role of Ronin and kind of continued to develop himself as Ronin?
Well, Jeremy Renner said that he would 100% always be open to coming back to play old man Hawkeye.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, so he said he would come back to play Hawkeye in that sense. But looking at how the original Avengers are dispersing at this point out of the MCU, I would think it's safe to assume that this might be his exit as well, because we're already, Cap, Iron Man, Black Widow, they're out. I would think that he would be as well. That's not to say that he won't make they won't make appearances in What If and shows alike, but as far as Avengers movies go, these having like a side a cameo in other movies, if it is, I assume it would be relatively small.
Yeah, I would agree, because we know Chris Hemsworth is on his way out as well. I think Love and Thunder is going to be. No,
really? I thought he said he's down to play Thor like forever.
Well, he easily could be. I'd absolutely love that. But the point I was going to make is that, okay, if Thor's going to be around a while, great. We know Hulk's going to be around for a little bit longer as well. And with Hulk and obviously with Mark Ruffalo starting to look a little bit older, and like we're getting a little bit more old man Hulk or world like type of situations, old man Hawkeye and old man Hulk have a lot of story together where they have a lot of beef. Without going into it too much, there is a lot of controversy between those, because, like, for example, in the Avengers game, it's based off the comic of where Hulk becomes Maestro. He becomes like the last living person on Earth. Hawkeye travels to the future and runs into him. They have a big fight type of thing. So with World War Hulk being on the rise, She-Hulk, potentially getting Red Hulk, I feel like that might be in the possibility for Jeremy Renner to eventually play.
That'd be pretty interesting. I haven't played the Avengers game, but
I have not played through it either, but I've watched all like the story and the gameplay of it. So like I know what happens. It's actually kind of interesting. By the way, super not happy with Spider-Man in the Avengers game. From what I've seen, dude, it does not look great. The web singing is not the best.
Well, the game as a whole did not get a lot of positive reviews.
No,
like I haven't seen a lot.
Real quick in the chat, we got Aria sending another gift in here. A third straight week, Aria. Thank you so much for tuning in again.
Oh yeah, thank you, gracias.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many positives about about that game. I'd still like to play it through myself, but I haven't seen too many positives about it. Yeah. I have it for you.
I know it's actually free on Xbox now.
So you don't even need it.
Yeah. So, well, you got to have the Game Pass and stuff. So you got to pay for it. But
do you have the Game Pass?
No, I used to.
Oh, so you're good. So I should still bring it?
Yeah, might as well.
Sounds good. So what next? We got Hawkeye. How do you like Kate Bishop?
I like her, man. I think she fits the vibe of everyone else we're getting set up to be part of this young Avengers-esque team. Obviously extremely young. She's a little bit more of the comedic relief than I expected. But I'm here for it. I like her so far, and it's interesting to see the situation she finds herself in, like the destroying the bell tower. Obviously, like she's an unreal shot. I loved seeing her reaction of the Battle of New York and seeing it from her perspective. That was great.
Oh, that opening scene was incredible. Anytime we can go back to such a legendary movie and like the start of something so big, I think that's awesome going back to see just from a different angle, because we got to do it in Endgame where we see the Ancient One helping in the battle against the Chitauri. So getting this, this third angle from that movie is incredible, because that was the superhero movie of the decade for the longest time.
It's interesting because I wonder if there was anyone else in the city that had a very similar situation to her. Like Hawkeye saved her, so she became a fan of Hawkeye and wanted to pick up a bow and arrow. Is there someone that was in New York that Iron Man saved that got inspired by Iron Man, wants to be the next creative genius? Like the list goes on and on. There's no telling the infinite amount of people that could have been affected by that.
Well, that's on both sides too, because we saw what it did to Wanda and Pietro on the opposite side, where it made
True.
them, it radicalized them, and they did not want anything to do with
Interesting.
them. So it's,
That's
like you said,
interesting.
it's from a certain point of view, right and wrong, whether they're doing right thing. Shoot, sorry, whether they're doing the right thing or not.
Yeah.
But it's always super interesting to see other angles of the Avengers.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. Dude, I want real quick. I want to talk about last night's fiasco with getting Spider-Man tickets.
Really,
Dude, if anyone in the chat, did you guys get tickets? I was thankfully able to get them this morning, but I was very interested in either seeing it in IMAX or Dolby, one of the two. Fortunately, I was able to get them in Dolby, but I stayed up till midnight our time, got online. Every website was crashing, dude. Like Fandango, AMC, Cinemark, all of them. We would get in there and you'd reserve them, and then it would time out. And obviously, there's a ton of people trying to get tickets at the exact same time. Um, After about an hour, I was like, dude, I'm done. I'll just try again in the morning. Didn't get great seats, but
Dude, I don't think
not
there's
bad
anything
seats.
wrong with the seats that we got.
I wish they were a little further back, but like again, for what it is and the fact we are going to see it in Dolby, I'm going to be fine with it. Plus the seats recline, so it'll be super comfy.
Yeah, I actually
It didn't
just
help.
saw.
It didn't help. I had to get 7 of them, so
Yeah, you could have done
that
like
made it a little bit
could
more
have done like
difficult.
4 in one row, 3 right
Yeah,
behind.
I was looking to split them up a little bit, but like how it would have worked, like,
Yeah, I saw the new Encanto movie this past weekend. The Disney movie.
how
Have you
was
seen
it?
it? I really liked it.
No, I
What are
haven't.
your thoughts on upcoming Boba Fett? Oh, I love that question. Love that one.
Dude, great question.
Question
We're
by David Mitchell 91. Oh
a,
man, sorry, I dropped my pen.
a month from today, actually.
I am super excited about that. Just a good a good opportunity to see the crime world be led by someone that isn't evil, isn't a villain
Right.
anymore. Did you watch the little 1 minute like teaser? It's not even a minute long. The video is, but you have the coming to Disney Plus, the Book of Boba Fett title and all that. It ends up being like 45 seconds or something that Star Wars
I
put
think
out on
so.
it.
I think I saw it.
It was pretty cool because it opens up. The opening shot was of Fennec and Boba outside of the palace with the pretty much the garage door opening, and you just
Hmm.
see the desert behind them. It was a lot of it was images that we've already seen, but it was really cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped about for it as well. Like I said, we're a month away exactly. What's super interesting is you could say this about any Star Wars, movie or show or whatever, but dude, this is a show that has been almost 50 years in the making, right? Like for Boba Fett, a character that was done so wrong in the original trilogy and became a meme of how he died. The fact that we've, 50 years go by and
We fought
it's
for him.
literally people fought for it, man. Bring Boba back. Give us some more Boba Fett. Like, and the fact that we're finally getting it, we're going to get justifiable action and potentially find out how exactly he did survive the Sarlacc. I don't see how anyone could have anything bad to say about it, bro. Like the options for the show are limitless at like the stories it can create and set up. And dude, Boba, I have him on my shirt right now. Like he's a fan favorite character.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
he
the
never
new
even
shirt
got
you
any
got.
action. I know we got this shirt to wear to Galaxy's Edge when we go here in less than a month,
No, that's dope.
couple weeks, like 3 weeks.
I have a Boba shirt on the way. I'm excited for it. I thought it was
Yeah, man.
Django when I bought it, and then I realized it was Boba.
Well, isn't it just an outline? So it could be.
I mean, yeah, true.
It's the
True.
same armor.
Yeah,
Finally, we
you're
got that
not wrong.
confirmed in Mando.
I get it, 100%. Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, bro. I'm super excited for just for Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, everything coming out. And we talk about it week by week. Keanu Reeves said it's an honor to join MCU. What character do you guys think he would play? Arya asked. That's a good question.
Keanu Reeves, dude, to be honest, there's like, what's interesting about Keanu Reeves is like he can play.
Anything.
I feel like every time a new character is introduced, Keanu Reeves is a fan casted character.
Would he
Black
be
Knight? He could have like a Black Knight like Keanu Reeves. It could have been. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna ask. Do you think he'd be a hero or a villain?
I would guess a hero. He hasn't really played too many villainous parts.
No.
Everything he's been in, he's kind of been a hero, and I don't know, man. Like, I feel like going forward, we are going to get him in some capacity. Like, he's such an incredible and fan favorite actor that Disney would only have positive results by casting him in some capacity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'd have to be. I would see him in a vigilante role.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that would be. Someone said Ghost Rider would be good.
You don't want to bring Nick Cage back? Dude,
Yeah,
okay, that adds on to our convo from earlier, like with the Andrew and Toby Spideys potentially being canon in the MCU, the Foxverse, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, Ghost Rider is one of those, man. He could easily get brought back into the MCU.
I mean, it could. You never know.
It's with the talk of if Mephisto's going to end up being something in the MCU, and obviously we don't have that confirmed, or it's obviously all speculation. Ghost Rider is kind of like his right hand man, dude. Like, if Mephisto gets brought back, a very good chance Ghost Rider gets brought back.
Well, I mean, I think we're going to see Mephisto in the Agatha show.
At this point, yeah, like there's. I'm still kind of shocked that they're doing the Agatha show, to be completely honest.
I know.
I
am a little too.
That much to add. Like, I'm sure it's going to be great.
She's
and I'm
powerful,
sure it's going to
though.
be, dude, unless, to me, like the whole point of the show would be to set up something bigger.
That's exactly what I said. Like, I think House of Harkness is going to be, an older show set a few centuries ago, but sort of in the way we saw Thanos in Guardians of the Galaxy and we saw Kang in Loki. We're going to see Mephisto get set up so we know who he is, we know he's there, and we're just waiting for his bigger role,
Right.
That's what I think it's going to be.
Sorry, guys. My camera fell over. I'm trying to fix it.
Boy. David also asked, how would would you like to see a movie all about the clones, live action?
Like, we're obviously talking about Star Wars here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like
that with their clones?
I'd like to see a little bit more about like the cloning process, like about the what's the species?
Kaminoans.
The Kaminoans. Thank you. I'd like to see something more, a little bit about the Kaminoans and like how they discovered the cloning process. How did they pitch to the Republic to?
They didn't pitch.
I guess someone came in looking for them. You're right. Like, I'd love to see that. Like, if it like see Palpatine go there, see Jango actually getting cloned, see the first clone being born. Like those, I'd love to see that. Maybe we can get a flashback of that in season 2 of Bad Batch.
Yeah, maybe. That brings me back to the scene where they showed Kamino just empty before it got destroyed. That was super
wild.
sad. Yeah. I'd like the movie, but it'd be hard to do that if they're all clones being, one actor. And Tamura Morrison's getting a little old, so I can't see.
It'd be a lot of CGI.
A lot, yeah. And they'd have to be a lot older. You know what I mean? So you could do one about like Rex. I think it's Rex, Wolf, and Gregor are the 3 on the old Republic. I can't remember what it was called.
Walker.
Yeah, the old Republic Walker. Like, he's old enough to fit that role.
Play those, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What if they did a spinoff with Tamura Morrison where it's Rex playing as what his name become? What did they canonize it as?
Well, I mean, there's a character that was Nick Sant.
Yes, Nick Sant. Thank you. Yeah,
but that's not what his name becomes.
No, I know. I'm saying that
But
the
it would
person
be
they used
cool
to make in Rex's likeness.
have him show up in like the Battle of Endor again.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Where's Mandal? Yeah, never mind. I was just excuse me. I'm sorry.
No, it's way later. It's way too late for that.
What is?
To see the Battle of Endor with Tamora Morrison.
Well, yeah, but they could do like unless it was like a flashback or something. But like they changed Luke, and Luke's only a couple years older in Mando than he is in the Battle of Endor, and they made him look damn near the exact same.
Right.
They can make him look older. We agree. We agree that they can. That they can. Yeah, so what else you got? Any news? I saw that they hired I can't remember. There's an actress that got announced. The name didn't ring a bell to me, but she's set to appear in the Ahsoka series as a new character. So not really much to say. It's just there'll be a new female character.
Interesting.
Yeah. Where do you reckon we go with season 3 of Mando? I don't even know.
Dude, there's
Because,
no
like,
telling, man.
I don't think there's any Mando without Baby Yoda, Grogu. I don't think Mando gets as much popularity without him. So it would be hard seeing Mando without Grogu at all, because
Right.
we're not going to see him with in season 3. It's not like we're going to start off seeing him reunite with Grogu. That's not how it's going to
No
be.
way. Odds are we don't see Grogu at all in season 3.
See, I disagree, man.
You don't
like I just said.
Man, I don't know. It's too soon. Like, if
too soon for what? It would be 2 years at that point. Like 2 years.
I guess they could make it as like they could make it 10 years, like with makeup and CGI and all that stuff. They could obviously age Mando up and make not Oscar Isaac, Pedro Pascal look a little bit older. Yeah. But I actually saw an interesting theory about it the other day, and I think what it was saying was like season 3 might be focused around him finding his way back to like his home world and like making peace with himself as to what happened, making peace with the droids, making peace with what happened with the Mandalorian. Obviously, like with Bo-Katan looking to re-siege Mandalore and become the leader again and kind of bring it back up from the ashes, Mando could be right there with her.
No, and that's what.
Well, right now he's the one that would be leading it, obviously, because he's technically the holder of the dark saber. So
yeah, I mean, that's what David said in the chat too. A big thing I think will be this this not rivalry, but this what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Whatever's going on between Mando and Bo-Katan, I don't know, not disagreement, something going on between them over the darksaber, and
they're kind of frenemies.
Exactly. And like we saw in season 3 of Rebels, I think it was season 3, when Sabine goes home and shows that she has the darksaber, her mom, she thought that would reunite everyone and that everything would be all hunky-dory again. But her mom was pretty much like, you think because you have that, it changes anything? So yes, to a point, in Mandalore history, whoever wields the darksaber is the ruler of Mandalore. But things have changed, and Moff Gideon had it. He's not trying. He's not the leader,
right? Right. The only reason Maul even became the leader was because of the Death Watch, and basically had them as backup and enforcers that made people listen to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't think the general person on Mandalore would have listened to Maul. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not one of their people.
No, and that's the thing is, if you have a ruler that is not a dictator, I think that changes things a lot, which I don't think Bo-Katan would be either, but she's not, she's not without fault. She's done a lot of bad things, and she wasn't always a good person. We saw a lot of good in Mando, but we also saw some hints at her old Death Watch days.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because like right now, dude, if both of them were to come to me and ask, and they were both ask me to fight for them, I'd have to choose Din any day of the week.
What
Like
makes
just
you
the
say that?
like the in leadership, bro. Like just like you said, when a leader's not a dictator, and looking at how Bo-Katan kind of is, like her sternness, her a little bit of shadiness that she has right now, from a fan perspective, Din showed nothing but the opposite. Like he's had more of a come to the light than she has at all. Like he went from wanting having no part of Grogu whatsoever to literally putting his life on the line to make sure that he was in the right hands. And to me, that would be the same applied to any citizen of Mandalore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way I see it too is on Bo-Katan's side, the only negatives that we've seen from her is when she's trying to retake Mandalore. Because in the Clone Wars, in Rebels, when we saw something negative, it was because she was trying to regain control of Mandalore. So I don't think she's trying to rule it just for power. I think she wants to see Mandalore at the pinnacle, you know? So
Right.
I think she wants the best for the planet. So if she is the ruler, I think she'd be a good one still. Like you said, she is shady and everything, but she wants what's best for Mandalore, I think. So I would say that would make her a good leader of the world.
Yeah, I agree. But with Bo-Katan's family, I feel like it's brought nothing but negatives to the people of Mandalore, man. Like obviously, like things fell apart under Satine's watch. And in rulers and kings and queens and stuff in history of the past, like families have ruled very similar. I feel I could be completely wrong about this, but I feel like if it's a brother and a sister or a passed down a generation, like the ruling kind of becomes the same. But when there's a rebellion or there's a new person that comes to power, there's usually a lot more positives that come out of that. That's why I kind of feel just like Din is getting set up to become the quote ruler.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, when Mando ends, that's going to be a sad day when this show is off the air.
It'll never really end. Like Mando itself will end, but like what it's created, the timeline that it's created, and the potential of the Disney Plus series that the Mandalorian started. The Mandalorian started all this, dude. Like it for this MCU too. Like you like WandaVision, you can thank the Mandalorian. You like Loki, you can thank the Mandalorian for doing so well that they saw like the potential outcome of how quality a show can be.
You wonder if Baby Yoda was not in it, would it have had the same effect? Because Star Wars fans really liked, a show, The Mandalorian. We've seen them in a couple movies throughout the two series, so learning about them was awesome, especially
Right.
their role in the extended universe. People were super hyped. So obviously they had the Star Wars fans on their side, but where it really went from this level to the next level is they were able to bring in fans that weren't Star Wars fans originally. They were able to introduce millions of people to Star Wars through The Mandalorian, and then they ended up getting into the movies, into the other shows. So you're right, Mandalorian did start this. I would like to see if it would have the same effect if Baby Yoda wasn't in it.
That's tough to say, man. Like probably, honestly, probably. Like cute sells.
Yeah.
Like cuteness does sell. Like there's no way around it. Grogu is for a hot minute was the cutest thing on the internet. It was, especially during like the whole fiasco the world was going through, over a year ago at this point. Like Grogu was it. It was on shirts, on backpacks, on every meme ever. Like it ruled the world for a while.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I think Grogu is literally one of the coolest characters that Star Wars has made to date. It's interesting because you were talking about like how before the Mandalorian came out, we're like, oh, we're gonna get some background on the Mandalorians, a little bit more about like the people. Like we don't know much about the main character yet. Like I was excited to learn about the Mandalorians. By the end of it, it became about Din and Grogu, specifically those two. I didn't care about finding out about Yoda's species and stuff. Like I did. Like when we first saw Grogu, I was like, oh, we're gonna find out about Yoda's species. But then as it goes on, I'm like, I don't care. I just want to see these two go on zany adventures for the rest of the time.
I get it. Father, son.
Yep.
Yeah, man. No, it was what a time. What a time. Yeah, that's a great show. Is there anything else that you have in mind?
Now, you pick up any new Funkos this week?
No, I don't think so.
I just got done kind of doing a big rearrange just the other day. I
Really?
completely changed up my Star Wars section. I'm really trying to collect all the Vaders now. Obviously I'm trying to collect all the Spider-Men, and then my whole thing is I'm trying to collect all the Spider-Men, one of each MCU character, heroes and villains, and then Star Wars wise get one of each kind of hero and villain, whichever ones I like, but I want all the Vaders, and that's going to be kind of my thing going forward. So like you can kind of see it in the background here. I got a new setup so you could see my Vaders a little bit better, and I'm super pumped about it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very different when it comes to pops. I'm trying to collect a lot of Cap and Iron Man, and then other than that, I do like to get like one of each, but I have I have a decent Spider-Man section, a decent Thor section. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Moving forward, I'm trying to get like one of each character from Phase 4, and then just pops that I think are cool from Marvel, and then Star Wars.
Yeah,
I don't collect everything.
Everything. You do.
I don't though. Like I'm getting out of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't collect. Everything.
What's
like,
interesting is
I don't collect
you and
like
I
the
have
special ones a lot anymore. Like I'm getting rid of the gold ones. I'm debating on the concept ones. I'm trying to get it out of, patinas, chromes, all that crap.
Right.
Which I don't have a lot of those anymore at all. So I'm really just trying to collect characters.
Yeah, no,
what were you gonna say?
I like how you kind of set it up in scenes. It's interesting because we have a lot of the same pops, but we set up and display completely different. So it makes it kind of unique, even though we have a lot of duplicates, like it looks completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I love how you have your Star Wars set up behind. You kind of have it set up in like the three, like into the trilogies. I think it's super dope.
Thanks. David asks, who has all the First Order stormtroopers? I don't have all of them, but I can take my camera off and show you guys. Here, I'll change it for YouTube a little too. I'll show you guys. This is my trooper sections. Sorry, I'm trying to get it as good as I can. That's my stormtrooper sections. For those on YouTube, it's right there. And we're actually trying to start some new videos in the near future of us highlighting our collections. So we are trying to get that up and running. It's just time.
Yeah, for sure. I'll show mine off a little bit. Like you can't really see it too much, but on this side, I got my whole Spider-Man shelf. So up at the top up here, I have all my villains, which I'll get to a better point of view later. But then right here, I got all my comic stuff. I have the Spider-Man video game. So that's Peter and Miles and all their playable suits in it. Then I have the MCU. I have the Spider-Verse. And then down here, I have all my Venomized stuff. So that's super dope. Then I got my Star Wars over here. So all the heroes are up top. Mandalorians are right here.
A full collection.
I got my villains, and then MCU stuff is down here. So I wish we could set it up so we could see it a little bit more in the background, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm getting the room set up more. I finally got some art and stuff put up in here. I got my shield hung up. So I got all the lights hung up in here. So it's coming along nice. Got the big lightsaber up.
So we've talked about it a few times, but Nick and he's flying out to Arizona in a couple weeks. So we're going to drive out to LA and go to Galaxy's Edge and Avengers Campus. We made our reservations for Savi's workshop today. So we are going to create our lightsabers. I still don't know what color to do. I really want to do red because I don't have any lightsabers in my collection. Nick has quite a few. So I know he might do something a little bit more unique because he has a few, but since I don't have any, red's my favorite blade color. So I might just do red and make that mine, you know?
Yeah. You can only have like the basic colors, right? Like there's no
to my understanding, yeah, you can't like modify it like in Fallen Order, like you could lighten it up and stuff. That'd be super dope. But in the workshop, you can get the basic colors, red, green, blue, purple. But then to my knowledge, you can go and purchase other colors like white, yellow, black.
See, I don't
really know
of those.
How it works too much, but if I were to do one of the special ones, I probably do black just because it's super cool. But like, I think I'm just gonna go with like the red and make it a display piece.
I think if I were to get another one, I'd get probably white because I'm gonna get Rey's saber, which is yellow. I'm gonna get the dark saber, which is black. So, but I probably won't get But if you get, well, I'm also gonna try to get Ahsoka's, which is white. So there's just I don't know. What sucks is my favorite. I like the blue. If my lightsaber wasn't like a bluish purple, it would be blue. But I have so many blue lightsabers, and I don't want another blue.
Because what all do you have now?
I can't list them all. I think I have like 14.
This guy.
Yeah, no, I have like the ones on my list that I really want are. And these are just ones that Disney and they're making like a Force FX of it is Rey, Leia, and the Darksaber. Other than that, I have all the major characters. They don't make one of Qui-Gon somehow.
That's surprising.
I think my first NeoPixel, whenever I get one, I think I'm gonna buy one that has Qui-Gon's hilt.
That's a good idea.
I also like Anakin's from Attack of the Clones, but I think they might make it, but it's very old, so it's probably
the green one.
No,
or the blue one, the one that he loses.
Yeah, the only green one he had was use it for 5 minutes.
Well, that's why I was asking. Like one he just picks up off the ground. Like I was like, is that the one you're talking about, or which one?
No, his that he built.
I got you.
Yep. So other than that, there's not. They have Asajj and Darth Revan's lightsabers, but
they're not really.
It's
not the
them.
same. Like
no,
it's not the same.
Even though I have Kit Fisto's, he's kind of in that range too. I have him, but it's actually a really cool lightsaber.
At least like Kit Fisto is like canon to the films. I know Revan is technically like his name's been said in the films in the canon universe before, but like we've never really seen him or anything like that. So to me, he doesn't really apply.
When was his name said?
It was said in.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it was
no. I know for a fact it was
in a movie.
Yeah.
No. If you can find out that Revan's name was said in a movie, tell me which prop you want.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. So I'm kind of right, kind of wrong.
Was it?
In the Rise of the Skywalker visual dictionary, it something about him was said.
See, that's not
I'm looking at it right now. No, you're right. You're right. So kind of right, kind of wrong.
Well, I mean, okay.
Still technically makes it. That makes
saying,
it canon.
Saying that he was canon is right. You saying that it was said in a movie is not kind of right.
Right.
Wrong.
No, that's what
I'm trying to look around to see if I got anything new. If I got for my bar area, I did get a little sign for the Mos Eisley Cantina that I'm going to hang above the bar area. So that's pretty cool. Other than that,
I just got these bad boys in the other day.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I was super pumped about that. I
just finished watching through that again today.
So far, all I have for Phase 4 is Mobius and Loki, and then I got Shang-Chi and Xialing and Bucky and New Cap. Still waiting on my big WandaVision order from February and my No Way Home order from July. So like that's been annoying waiting for, but hopefully those are here soon.
I have what is it? Iron Stomper? Hydra Stomper. I have Hydra Stomper and Peggy from What If. And then I just have White Vision, Ravonna and Miss Minutes and Sylvie. That's all I have from Phase 4, other than like
I forgot you got White Vision.
Yeah, I got him. And then I have a big order on pre-order from Big Apple Collectibles as well, right, where I have a few from, the main characters from Falcon Winter Soldier, a couple from WandaVision, and then freaking Clone Wars way back when. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, our Big Apple orders very similar. I have a few Pokemon in there instead of the Clone Wars stuff because I got really lucky. Quick,
David, thank you for tuning in and being active. We really appreciate you hopping in. Yeah. Catch some Z's.
Appreciate it.
All right, what were you saying?
No, I was saying like I just have some Pokemon ones in my order instead of the Clone Wars, but besides that, it's almost the exact same.
True. I've been thinking of trying to think of a way I could switch it up lately, but if I switch anything up, I would have to switch everything in my MCU section, and that's just hard,
It's so interesting, like trying to redisplay these things, man, because like you have to picture the space and then you have X amount of objects you need to fit within that space. So you're in your brain like, okay, well, that could be there, and then you start doing it, and half the time it ends up not working. Well, and you're like, ugh.
For everybody, I moved into this apartment with my girlfriend about 6 months ago, and when I set it up, it took a lot of planning. So I just started putting up Star Wars ones, and then I realized like a little into it, I was like, I have to plan this out. I'll get back to that really quick. We have a question. I have a question about Funko. Why some of it? So why do you take some out of their box and leave some out? Alec and I are very, iffy. I don't necessarily need to keep them in boxes. If I think it's a really cool pop, I'll take it out. And also just for space, like it is hard.
That's the biggest thing. Boxes take up a lot of space.
Yeah, I have about 700 pops, and 700 pops in boxes. That is just a lot. And Alec and I have always said, for people that collect them in boxes and only leave them in boxes, that's completely up to you. That's awesome. They look cool. I just don't prefer my collection to be that way. I don't like it just looking like a big wall of pops. I like having them set up like scenes and where you could see the pops and everything, especially like with rides and scenes. The boxes are so bulky that I don't like to keep them that way.
My thing is, dude, for a while I was a completely out of box collector. Where, like I would keep the box, but like I would take everything out, especially with my Spider-Man collection. And I've honestly been debating on doing it again, just because you can see everything so much better. Like the details, especially on like the Spidey ones, man, like you miss a lot of them when they're in the box. And like Nick said, like boxes take up a lot of space. So like I really don't want to buy another shelf right now. So like I've been taking a lot more out of box. And
same. If I had space, I would leave more in boxes. But also, I feel like if they were to put like not a sticker on the side, but if something is from Hot Topic and they put a little Hot Topic logo on the side of the box, I'm going to try to get one out. That's all right. So this Luke, for example, if they put this sticker, if they like made a little image of it here on the box so you can tell on the side that it's an exclusive too, I would totally leave a lot more in and take a lot more out and turn it sideways because I like the boxes. But
because that is something cool.
Come down to space.
It's funny, the little sticker on it to me adds a lot of really cool look to the setup, because like if you have a line of exclusives, to me it makes them look more valuable. and I like seeing where the exclusive is too, but at the same time, you'll lose a lot of the details and stuff on the pop when you leave them inside. So
exactly,
it's up to you personally. I go back and forth all the time. I like to switch up my setup on the regular. I do it every couple weeks, I feel like. So it's completely up to everyone who has pops, how they display them, man.
Yeah. Back to what I was saying before the question. When I moved in, I was putting up Star Wars and I realized quickly, I was like, okay, I can't just wing this. There has to be a plan. And it took several index cards because I literally drew out the shelves and would write, all right, Mando, Clone Wars, original trilogy 1, 2, Phantom Menace. It took a lot of planning, and then putting them in there, realizing, okay, this doesn't fit in just one. Phantom Menace, or not Phantom Menace, because there's only a couple pops, but having to plan it out section by section to where it all fit, it all flowed down, and it all flowed across in some type of nice sequence. It was difficult, but I finally got them up. The only thing that I'm debating now is I do have an empty section right here that pretty much is just holding extra crap right now that I need to do something with. And then I'm really debating on what to do with these concept pops because they do take up a whole section. And the main thing is I want Mando because Mando is the shelf at the very bottom, and then the one next to it is like Mandalorian. So I want to figure out how I can get that higher. But the thing about that is I would have to move everything else down, I think. And at that point,
that's so much work.
That, and then they wouldn't line up across where it's the trilogy.
Right.
So it's
right.
I don't know. I'll have to figure.
I remember when you moved in, you would call me like late. You're like, bro, I'm trying to figure this out. I need your help. Like, does this make sense? Does this look cool? Like,
then I'd look like
what do you think about this?
Like I want to jump out a window when I realized that I needed to start it over. Luckily, dude, I'm on the 9th.
I thought the funniest thing, you called me one time. You had just finished putting your setup, and you were so pissed. You're like, dude, I gotta move the entire shelf like 6 inches, but to do that, I gotta take everything off. And I'm like, that sucks.
I literally, because I didn't plan like the lengthwise with the closet, so I had to move everything, and then finding a way to get the couch and my desk in here, and then get Marvel, and to have it not look like just a store still. So I think it's decent. Right. It's still a work in progress because it's the bad thing about taking pops out of boxes is you still have the boxes. So
and you got to put it somewhere else. Yeah,
exactly. So like this closet is just a wreck. So I'm trying to get all this art up.
Completely full.
Yeah. Luckily, I found out my apartment building has storage spaces. They're like 4 feet by 6 feet by 8 feet. So that it's $20 a month. So I might just do that.
That's not bad, dude.
Yeah. But we're running a little long. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, unless anyone else has some final questions to go over real quick, I'm good, man.
Yes, sir. But if not, we, like always, we really appreciate you guys hopping in. Don't forget that Wednesday morning, you can check out our reaction to episode 3 of Hawkeye. On Thursday, you can catch our Guardians of the Galaxy Funko Pop concept list. But other than that, next week it'll just be the same thing, a podcast episode, a reaction. So make sure to check those videos out. But until then, guys, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you always.